The thing is that, like, I feel like it took me so long to finally get into VTubing, only because I've always been a real-life streamer follower. Like, when VTubing first started, I would rather watch real-life streamers versus VTuber streamers. And I just think that there was, like, more of a connection with real-life streamers. I would never miss a stream from Screw Attack, if anybody remembers Screw Attack. Now that Screw Attack has been bought out and been assimilated into Rooster Teeth, though. But when Screw Attack was separated, I was a big Screw Attack fan. Like, I watched all their videos. I remember watching this, their podcast. I would always actually watch all their podcasts. I would watch even, like, their other solo videos. But, like, their streams, though, when they started streaming on Twitch TV, like, back in, like, 2015, 2016, I actually never missed a stream. And I actually always watched the 24-hour live streams. I think they had at least 5 or 6 24-hour live streams before they got bought out by Rooster Teeth. Or Full Play. I think Full Play is the parent company. And then, like, Rooster Teeth, I've always been a fan of, like, Rooster Teeth stuff. But not for their animations, though. I've always been, like, a neutral fan of, like, Red vs. Blue. And then their other animations, never really caught me. Red vs. Blue was, like, the only thing. I remember being very excited for Ruby from Rooster Teeth when, like, the trailers came out. First 2 seasons, and then that's it. I watched first 2 seasons of Ruby, and I was done. Ruby did not capture me for too long. Ruby seemed like it was kind of like more of a, I was into Ruby just to be part of the in crowd, basically, when it first came out. But then, like, after that, I was just gone. But I do like the individual people that work at Rooster Teeth. So, like, I am subscribed to their channel on YouTube. And I do actually go to the actual Rooster Teeth website for their, what do you call it? They're exclusive live streams that they don't do on YouTube sometimes. Usually, like, for half their streams, they would go both on YouTube and they would do it on their Rooster Teeth website. But for the other half, though, they only do exclusive to Rooster Teeth. So sometimes I actually go there to catch them. Technically, I was actually more like of an Achievement Hunter fan rather than all of Rooster Teeth. I still like Rooster Teeth, but, like, I actually more of an Achievement Hunter fanboy, though. So, like, I really like Michael and Gavin. Although Gavin's less Achievement Hunter nowadays, but I really did like Michael and Gavin of, like, Rooster Teeth of Achievement Hunter fame way back in the day. I still like them, actually. And I did like Jeff. I did like Jeff and, Jeff and Jack also as well. Jeff has moved on from Achievement Hunter, though. Jeff is more of a, like, a management role now. He does not really in front of the camera that much. You who really watch streamers before VTubers, nod. Yeah, like... Oh! If I were to talk about indie, if I'm gonna talk about indie VTubers, actually, I think one of the reasons why I never got into VTubing until way later than, like, when you guys got into VTubing. Like, it took you guys to break me down. You guys started breaking me down into VTubing, basically. Was just because, you know, there is that, I guess there is that one kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Downside to 2D VTubing? Downside? Not downside. It's a downside. Shit, what's that word called? When, like, you can't do something. Like, you can't do something, but, like, it's like a there we go, limitation. So I guess one of the bad things about the limitation for, like, 2D VTubing is like, I guess the reason why, like, I was more into real life streamers that actually went on camera was that, like, I like the reaction they get when they play certain games, like the actual facial expressions, the arm movement. I also love seeing when it's multiple people, like you see like 2 or 3 people in a real life stream, you see them doing stuff with each other. Even the small things too, like seeing them like grab a drink or something. Or like if they're playing like Mario Party, some real life streamers, if they do it with friends, you would actually see them mess with each other. Like someone would like smack someone's hand, or like push a controller out from someone. And that's what I liked about Screw Attack and Rooster Teeth. So like that's why I was more about real life streamers in general. And you do lose that kind of like realism with like 2D VTubing. So when it comes to 2D VTubing, basically there's more not stress. There's more reliance on the VTuber to have to like go based off of their personality at that point, to use their personality to catch subscribers, to catch you know, people that want to keep watching it. It's very different from real life streamers, because real life streamers, you get the reaction, you get interaction with other real life people if they live stream with more than one person. And obviously the personality. The personality will always be important for streaming, obviously. But with VTubing though, I feel like almost like maybe 70%, maybe even 80% is reliant on personality, since you don't get like pure reaction. Especially when Hololive, and I guess even Nichisanji too, when they do off collabs, at that point it's basically like pure like imagination. You get to hear them on the microphone, but like you just don't get to see what's happening versus real life streamers. Like Rooster Teeth. When Rooster Teeth does, for example, okay, here's one thing that you will get from a real life stream that you will not get the same effect from like a 2D VTuber off collab stream. So Rooster Teeth does charity streams, right? And they do stupid shit in those charity streams, and I love it. Like there was one where like when they hit $10,000, Michael, he let himself be paintballed by some of the other people in Rooster Teeth. Like I think there was 3 of them, and they had paintball guns. They paintballed him on stream, and like that was hilarious. And Michael, again, because he loves getting hurt, I guess, when they hit $20,000, he let Gavin taser him. Like, Gavin actually had a taser. And the reaction, and seeing the other people's reaction and everything, and seeing Michael fall to the floor when he got tasered, that's something that you won't get from like a 2D VTuber stream. So again, there is things that like you could do in 2D and things that you could do in 4D? I don't want to say 3D, since now we have 3D VTubing, but like I guess I'll say 4D, but you kind of miss like those kind of things from 2D. Like they could do it. Hololive could do that if they wanted to, but the effect wouldn't be the same though. Like, I mean, who would want to do it? Marion, maybe? Marion? Maybe Okayu? I feel like maybe Okayu would want to do it. Like get tased on off collab or something. I don't know which Hololive member would want to get tased for like for like a charity stream. But like, you know, like they could do an off collab, and then like you could hear it, you know, like they'd be like, oh guys, like Okayu is gonna get tased by Corona now. It's like, sure, you could hear the pain maybe, but it just wouldn't be the same. However, 2D VTubing does have its perks. And like, I'm not even gonna go about the real life privacy aspect. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about this from a pure streaming perspective. One thing that actually drew me eventually to VTubing is, what's the best way to say this? The 2D outline contrast of actually seeing the character versus the background, which is actually kind of why I'm using my green screen curtain right now for the contrast, so it's easier to see. Because like a lot of real life streamers that like I've noticed, sometimes it's actually hard to actually see the person, because like they're wearing like a black shirt and they have like a black computer chair. and then their room is dark, so you kind of can't actually see the actual person that's streaming sometimes. And the biggest perk about 2D streaming is that like you're always going to see the VTuber, because there's always going to be that really good contrast between like their background and the character itself. So like that's a really big plus for VTubing. Another thing too that I also really love about VTubing as well, I love Miko. I love Miko for this in particular. When the VTuber plays with their facial expressions and when they do it well on stream, I think that's also really good, because when it comes to anime characters, facial expressions are very exaggerated. So the exaggeration, I think, is also something that they get that realism doesn't get. And it depends on the person too. Not everybody reacts the same way to, like, let's say Five Nights at Freddy's, for example. And sometimes some of the fear for real life streamers is very subtle. Like, that's also why some people don't like certain YouTubers like PewDiePie back in his early day, or like some reactionary streamers like even Markipillar. Some of them are very hand wavy and they have like super exaggerated expressions sometimes, like where you can feel like it's very fakey when they're doing like a horror game. And exaggerated facial expressions on a real person tends to feel fake. But then like when you see the exaggerated facial expressions on an anime character, it doesn't feel as fake. In fact, it's like in character at that point when like it's an anime. So facial expressions are great when you're watching a VTuber that actually plays with their facial expressions. And from what I've seen, I think Miko does that really well. I tend to notice like for like Kurone, for example, I don't know if it's her model, or I don't know if it's maybe because she doesn't play with her buttons that much. I feel like Kurone has very more subtle expressions, so maybe it's her model, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But like, I do feel like some of the Hololive members have more exaggerated face expressions than others. But maybe it's because maybe some others, they just don't play with it. They don't play with their expressions as much. Oh! Yeah, like Marion too. Like, I feel like I almost don't see Marion do that much facial expressions too. For like whenever I've seen her, I feel like she doesn't actually play with her facial expressions. So I definitely want to see a VTuber that plays with their facial expressions a lot. It's not like a deal breaker for me, since I did say that Okayu and Kurone were like my top two, obviously. So like for them, like that's pure personality. Like that's why I really love them. But if Kurone and Okayu were to play more with their facial expressions, then like that would just elevate them, for me. But yeah, if I were to talk about like indie VTubers though, Girl DM. So like Girl DM, she uses a 3D model, and like I really started to like her just on the basis that she uses a very high quality 3D model for hers. And now I'm starting to get the best of both worlds for Girl DM, where like I'm having like the realistic, like, you know, like facial expressions from her, because you can see her mouth move like in every direction. And then also when she actually like moves, you see her move. Like that's the quality of like the 3D versus the 2D now. And another great thing too, and also like her hand movements. And another thing too about Girl DM is I also get the anime expressions too, and from what I've seen from Girl DM's VODs and some of her streams, she basically does the same thing that Miko does. She actually plays with her expressions, like as she's streaming. Like she'll do the exaggeration anime expressions, but then like when she's just chatting though, she has the realistic expressions when she's just chatting. So I think when it comes to VTubing, I guess for me, 3D models is the best of both worlds for me. I get like the realistic, you know, like real life streaming, but then I also get the exaggerated anime. I get the anime stream part of that too. So I guess 3D is like the really good middle ground, at least for me personally. Funny enough, actually, this is why I like Mel from Melody. This is why I like Melody. You know, the one that got famous for her Pornhub streams. Because Melody also plays with her anime expressions, and Melody actually has a really good 3D model. In fact, I'm sad. I'm actually sad that Melody is favoring her 2D model now more than her 3D model. Because before, Melody only had a 3D model, and now Melody got a 2D model, I think 2 months ago? 3 months ago, I think? And from what I've seen, she's been doing a lot of streams with her 2D model. And, like, I actually kind of wish she would go back to her 3D model. But I'm sure that using the 3D model is a lot of work, though. So, like, that's why 2D modeling just tends to be easier. But yeah, I would prefer 3D. Like sometimes, actually, for Hololive, sometimes you see, like, the predominantly 2D streamers use a 3D model every once in a while, and I actually love it when they use, like, a 3D model. But yeah. But yeah, it just, you know, that's just me. That's just me. When I see a 2D VTuber, I do miss the 4D. I miss the 4D realism, I guess. So yeah. But yeah, that's that is my personal opinion about 2D versus real life.